stage. Please welcome to the stage Rob Smith.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
Wow. Is this thing on? Okay, great. We're good. Welcome to. Been here for a while, but it is so amazing to see you. Let me tell you a story, first of all, before I get into everything. What I want to talk about today is I want to talk about the military. And I really wanted to challenge myself to not own the libs, to not talk smack about the Democrats, because, you know, that's easy, and you just saw me do that for a couple minutes. You see me do that a lot on Fox News. But what I wanted to talk about today is love. So what do I have love for? Why do I love America? Why do I love these things? I love God, of course. I love myself, absolutely. I love my husband, but what I really love is this country. And I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to tell you why I love America. Because a secret, and let me share a little secret, that I was not always this lean, ripped, muscular stud that you see in front of you right now, right? I'm going to tell you a little secret. Once upon a time, I was a fat, black, gay 17-year-old from Akron, Ohio. Think about that. 17 years old, you know, fat kid, butterball, gay, didn't really know what was going on. One of the biggest things that people say about me sometimes that I know are not true, they say lots of things that aren't true, but they're like, you know, of course you are a conservative because you're just some rich kid, right? You just came from a wealthy home and now you just want to go out and you want to talk all this conservative stuff. No, I am from Akron, Ohio. I am from a single parent household. I am from one of the worst public school systems in the country. I am from a place that to this day right now still has people dying in the streets because this is where I come from, and I have to be so open and honest about that. So at 17 years old, I made the decision to go into the military, to join the military, because I loved America, but also because I needed a path. I needed guidance. I needed somewhere to go. And what I also needed was just like Brandon Tatum said before, I needed that male influence in my life. That is not an influence that I had growing up. So I decided to go into the military. 17 years old, I joined the United States Army Infantry. All right, hoo-ah, right? United States Army Infantry. And here is the trick. The very first day I arrived at basic training, fat, black, 17-year-old kid in the deep South, Fort Benning, Georgia, the only black kid in my entire platoon. What we would call white rednecks. They were these white Southern guys, and I was like, oh man, you know, these guys are gonna kill me. This is gonna be so bad. Oh, and they did, by the way. And so let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you about how a boy became a man, how all of that fat got melted off, and how that weak person was broken down and built into somebody that loves America, somebody that has served America, and somebody that will continue to serve this country for the rest of my life. Now, when I say that I was fat, I mean I was fat. All right? I was a little butterball. And what you have in the military is you have PT, you have physical training. Because we don't want, you know, heavy people in the military. We want everybody to be lean, mean, fighting machines and all that. And you would have a 5 to 7 mile run every single morning. Now, I had never ran a mile in my life, okay, let alone run 5 to 7 miles. So I started off the very first day of basic training, ran in the morning, sweating, you know, crying, puking, all of that other stuff, did not make the run. I fell out. And I continued to fall out every single day. I wasn't losing any weight. I wasn't going anywhere. My drill sergeants called me a fat POS, and they were right because I was. It just wasn't working out, right? And I remember hating everything so much and hating being in the military and hating so much because my life had not been easy thus far, but it had been cushy because I ate a lot of crap and I didn't work out and I did all these things, but I wasn't really fulfilling my full potential. So the one night, and I'm going to tell you, this is the night that changed my life. As a 17-year-old kid in the military, I had a little journal that I was writing. And I remember writing in the journal, I hate it here, I hate it here, I hate it here. Well, the drill sergeant found my journal. That old white redneck drill sergeant, he found that journal. And I remember it was me, and it was another guy that I served with. And he was in base training, and he was even bigger POS than me, if that's even possible to comprehend. And so I remember this drill sergeant, this like evil white redneck man, and we were sitting there in that office, and he said, "Smith, do you really want to go home?" And I looked at him in his eyes, and this is somebody who kicked dirt on me when I was down. I puked on his boots one time. That didn't go over too well, obviously. He looked me in the eye, and he said, "Smith, do you really want to go home?" And I looked at him. I said, "Drill Sergeant Allbrooks, if I go home, I have nothing. I have nothing if I go home, because there's nothing for me there. Whatever is for me to do, whatever is for me to build, whatever is for me to be is here. So I have to figure this out." And he didn't send me home. And you know what? I fell out of the run again the next morning. But you know what? I got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I started making those runs, and I started losing the weight, and I started shooting well, and I started doing all of the things that I needed to be a good soldier. And so there are some people who don't realize why I love America so much. They don't realize, well, you served in the military and you did this. And what I tell them is that you have no idea where I've come from. You have no idea what this country has given to me. When Brandon Tatum and all of these people talk about young men who need support, they talk about young men who need a father figure, that energy in their life, that is what I got from the military, because my dad was not home. I got people that showed me how to be a man, how to stand up, and how to stand tall, and how to stand strong. That is what I got from the United States military. That is why I love America, because there is no other country but America where a fat, gay 17-year-old can grow up to become America's favorite black gay Republican. Literally, where can that happen but America? And it pains me that we have a society that is growing up to hate America, to revile America, to talk about how awful America is and how bad it is. And, you know, a lot of you guys may have seen a video that I did on Vice where I debated a lot of black liberals. It was black liberals versus black conservatives. And the funniest thing to me about doing that video is that I said something that is no different than what I'm saying to all of you today, which is it doesn't matter. This is a country where it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what you look like. If you put in the work, you will succeed. But apparently that's not a message that goes over too well with the left, because when I say that, I'm told that I have this privilege, and I'm told that I have privilege and that all this stuff happened. And I'm telling you, when you have a lot of young people, and this is something that is not about black or white or Latino or anything like that, we have a crisis with young men right now. And when you have a lot of young men on the streets that don't have a lot of direction, that don't have figures, that do not have a direction to go to, they will go into the wrong direction. And we see them going into the wrong direction in places like Chicago. When I go to my hometown of Akron, Ohio, we see this, but yet when I tell people about my military experience, and when I tell them what it has done for me, and I make the humble suggestion that perhaps you serve your country for a couple of years instead of bashing it every chance you get, they look at me like I'm completely insane. They look at me like I'm crazy. And I will tell all of those people, and I will tell you right now, that we need to be a country that comes together. One of the reasons that I didn't want to bash Democrats and own the libs and talk about what I love is because I truly believe that we are a country that needs to come together. I know every single person in this room loves America, and you know, I bet some of those liberals love America too. Maybe they just love it in a different way. And maybe what we're all here to do is to show them that it doesn't matter what color you are, and it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, or your gender identity, or all of these different things that people try to separate us by. These things may not matter if you love America, because we can all come together in this room, and we have a national identity together because we are united in our love for America, right? And that is what I think the message needs to be. Now, Candace, and let me thank Candace, first of all, because I'll tell you a story about, I came out as a conservative, quote unquote. It's really funny, you have to come out as conservative nowadays. But I came out as a conservative about a year ago this time, right? And I remember, you know, because I used to be in production and advertising, talking to a network executive at a major network. And, you know, I got this meeting. I was really excited. I was like, you know, I'm conservative leaning because I got red pilled a couple of years ago, and I'll tell you about my red pill story. But I'm conservative leaning, and I'm thinking about coming out as conservative, even though I'm black and I'm gay. I don't really think it matters. I'm coming out because I love America. And he looked at me and he said, nah, they ain't ready for that. You need to just go get like a local reporting job or something like that. You need to go do that. Well, I am proud to tell that executive, who will not be named, that that was a year ago. And a year from then, I stand right now in this room with all of these amazing patriots that love America with me, and 100,000 followers on social media that love America with me as well, who don't care that I'm black or gay. They just care that I'm a veteran that loves America. And that is what this is all about. I had a conversation with Candace about this whole thing, because I wanted to thank her, because she was one of the first ones to give me a platform, literally pick me up off of social media and be like, wow, this is cool. You should come to this. You should do that. And I had a conversation with Candace, and I was like, you know, you want me to talk about the gay thing a lot, and I'm cool with talking about the gay thing, but I'd rather talk about the military thing and why I love America and all that. And she said, the reason why we have to talk about being black, and the reason why I talk about being gay, and the reason why we talk about being Latino, and the reason why we talk about all these different things that some people decry as identity politics. We talk about these things because when we get through all of these different identities, and we break all of that stuff down and figure out that it really doesn't mean as much as we think it does, we find out that our shared identity is as Americans, and our shared identity is as people who love America, and that's the point that we're at right now. So my red pill moment has to do with me being gay. When I became a conservative was in 2016, when I saw a radical Islamist terrorist run into Pulse Orlando, a gay bar in Orlando, Florida, and kill 49 gays and lesbians. It is horrific. It is still horrific for me to think of to this day. And when I saw how the left reacted to it, when I saw how these people who wanted me to be, wanted me to feel like I was under their control because I'm black and gay, and they were the only ones that were going to protect me, and they didn't stand up to that when it happened. They didn't fight for me when it happened. They made excuses for the terrorists, and they shut down people that were having different conversations. And I realized that it is not only my job to get up and to be open and to speak about this as a black man, but I have to start red-pilling these gays. Okay? I have to start red-pilling this LGBT community, because what I see from my community, this community that I love, this community that is strong, this community that has gone through so much in the society, this community is being turned into a community full of victims, and I will not allow that to happen. So when we get rid of all of these labels, and I think that at a certain point we will, we come together as people who love America. We come together in the American identity. And I wish that some of the people who tell me on social media that I'm doing something and it's not real and it's fake and all these people hate you and they really hate you because you're black and they really hate you because you're gay and they don't want to hear about your husband and they don't want to hear that stuff. I wish that all of those people could be in this room right now because they don't know what we know. They don't see what we see. They don't feel what we feel. What I feel is unity. What I feel is nationalism. What I feel is a love for this country that will continue to burn in my soul, and I will find a way to be of service to this great country and its people as long as I am here on this earth. And I thank all of you for giving me the opportunity, and I thank all of you for helping to lift me up, for helping to lift Candace up, to helping to lift Rogan up, and Brandon, and all of these amazing people, because we feel that love for America. And I thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you.